In today's show, Blackburn have their sights on an automatic promotion spot, with second place Sheffield United having slipped up in recent weeks. The two locked horns at Ewood Park, but who would come out on top? Middlesbrough were also hoping to take advantage of the Blades' poor league form, with Michael Carrick's men striving to get back to winning ways against an improving Reading. But we start at Bloomfield Road, where visitors Burnley made the short journey looking to strengthen their hold on top spot in the table. A tall order then for Mick McCarthy's Blackpool, who went into this match 4 points adrift of safety. Commentary comes from Paul Walker.
Cullen rolled into Barnes. Goodmanson can pick his spot. Wonderful save from Maxwell. The fingertips of the Blackpool goalkeeper keeps it at 0-0, and that is a fine save from Maxwell. Goodmanson out to Obafemi. Goodmanson again, can he find the right pull back? He can, it's cleared off the line. Jordan Thornley. On another day, that could so easily have gone into the back of the net of Jordan Thornley. He did well to adjust himself and clear it away. Vincent Kompany trying to rally the troops. Goodmanson is a potential striker of it. It is going to be Scott Twine. Oh, Maxwell palms it up into the air, and behind it goes for the corner. That was dipping in, and Maxwell gets it away. Helped on by Medine. Rodgers. Hamilton cuts it across. It's a scuff clearance. Gabriel! On his less favoured left foot. Skies it. And Gabriel would probably have wanted that on his other foot. Rodgers steps inside, great run. Needs some quality at the end of it. Still Rodgers, couldn't find a way through. Dougal is there. Will it open up for him? All very scrappy. Burnley survive and now can break. It's Barnes. Chased down by Connolly. Works out to Teller. Nathan Teller for Burnley. Maxwell with a very strong hand. Well, he's pulled off two excellent saves in this game, Chris Maxwell. Terrific run from Teller. That is a wicked hit. Maxwell equal to it. Ekdal. It ends all square, but this, make no mistake, is a draw that will feel like a victory for Mick McCarthy's Blackpool. Full-time, Blackpool 0, Burnley 0.
Next to Blackburn, who were after a fourth straight league win. While Sheffield United has suffered in the league of late, they did beat Tottenham in the FA Cup to set up a quarter-final against today's opposition. But who would win round one? Commentary comes from James Fielden.
Skewed into the air by Travis. Robinson back. Low. Egan trying to force it towards goal. And this very youthful crowd here at Ewood Park, right behind their side, who are countering now with Schmodix. Gallagher ahead of him. It's Tyrese Dolan. He won't shoot. Pickering will! What a start for Blackburn! Blackburn were able to get so many bodies forward, and look at them all darting into the final third. And the overlapping run was there from the left back, brought back into the side today, and scoring his first goal since November 2021. They are very much in this promotion shake-up. Rankin Costello. Thomas. Dolan hits the frame of the goal. Really good awareness there to find Dolan in the first place. And inches away from Blackburn doubling their lead. Bizarrely for Blackburn, they have lost 11 of 12 championship games when conceding first, but we'll see here because a yellow card is coming out from referee Josh Smith. That's a yellow card for Chris Basham. Foul on Tyree Stolen, who is still feeling the pain. Sheffield United about to make a double change here. George Baldock and James McAtee are coming on. Szmodics though for Blackburn first. Back to him. Sammy Szmodics off the bar. The second time they've hit the woodwork in this game. And he just coaxed it towards goal so elegantly there, Szmodics. That could have made the point safe. Basham sliding in, has to be careful. Remember, he's already on a yellow card, and Blackburn making the referee aware of that, just in case he'd forgotten. Doesn't look as though there'll be any further punishment here. Yes, it seemed to be a foul and nothing more than that. A massive win for Blackburn. 5 in a row for Jon Dahl Tomasson. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sheffield United 0.
A breach of financial rules has left Reading facing the prospect of being docked 6 points for the second time in 18 months. Their hopes of collecting something at the Riverside to ease the blow soon faded. Andy Yeardon was very close to Aaron Ramsey when the ball struck his hand, but referee Keith Stroud was convinced and Borough had a penalty. A chance for Chuba Akpom to make it 20 league goals for the season, which was coolly accepted. He's never scored more than 5 in a campaign before, so this is heady stuff for the striker and his team, despite last weekend's wobble at West Brom. That ended a 5-match winning streak for Michael Carrick's side, but they had a scare of their own when Shane Long set off towards goal. Tommy Smith's challenge was clumsy, but nothing doing from Mr. Stroud. A moment that may have changed the contest, but as it turned out, only a brief pause in the one-way traffic. That said, Borough took a little while to ensure a successful afternoon. A little frustration for Akpom when his header hit the post. And the boss was probably keen to see a second to reflect his team's total control. It came in first half stoppage time and on the counter. Ramsey's quick thinking matched by his pace across the ground and his composure when it mattered. His first goal on loan from Aston Villa, and it felt like job done. The home side took just 3 second-half minutes to make sure of that. Ramsey involved once again, before another Ryan Giles delivery handed Akpom his second of the game. Paul Ince's team completely lacked direction, although they were continually heading backwards. Just 3 minutes more and it was 4-0. Giles once again in space on the left, finding Ramsey on his own too, his first double since he managed one for Norwich back in October. But not the end of the scoring for Middlesbrough, as they took maximum advantage of Sheffield United's stumble at Blackburn earlier in the day. Marcus Fors running at Tom McIntyre, who couldn't quite catch him legally. The result, a second spot kick for the hosts. But despite having 2 players looking for a hat-trick, Fors did the business himself. Borough's rejuvenation under Carrick continues, but it's been a punishing week on and off the pitch for Reading.
Watching on at the Den was none other than the FIFA president to see who would come out on top in a playoff 6-pointer. Millwall versus Norwich is coming up.
After taking Tom Bradshaw off in midweek, Millwall boss Gary Rowett explained that he needed to ensure he would be ready to go again against Norwich. What a good call that looked to be, as Bradshaw raced clear to give the home side a 20th minute lead. No sign of the tight calf that had troubled the Millwall striker. That's 6 in his last 5 league matches. FIFA president Gianni Infantino was in town for an IFAB meeting and fancied taking in a game, and he was being entertained. He saw a second first-half goal, this time an equaliser for Norwich from Jakob Sorensen. One from the training ground that paid off, though this one owed much to George Long in the Millwall goal. It wasn't the most powerful of shots, but enough for Sorensen's first since December 2020. Another corner routine saw Norwich take the lead in the second half, but again there was some Millwall assistance. Bradshaw just can't help putting the ball in the net right now. Unfortunately for him, this one was at the wrong end. If there was a touch of fortune about Norwich's first two, their third was pure class. Some old-fashioned wing play from Onel Hernandez before he fed Gabriel Sara. He's in some impressive goal-scoring form himself. Goals in back-to-back matches, his third in the last 5, and Norwich with a 2-goal cushion. Still not enough to get too comfortable. With 7 minutes to go, Millwall pulled it back to 3-2. Zian Fleming with his 13th of the campaign. But they couldn't find an equaliser as Norwich held on to inflict Millwall's first home league defeat since September and leapfrog them in the table.
Luton boss Rob Edwards said he's delighted with the way his side are performing at the moment, but both his team and mid-table Swansea have just 1 win in 6 after midweek draws. Carlton Morris nearly had the Hatters in front here though. Morris almost scored to go with his goal when Luton won 2-0 at Swansea in August, and not long afterwards the former Norwich striker was close again here when grazing the bar. Results at Kenilworth Road have been a problem for the playoff chasing Hatters. 15th in the home table, second on only away performances. But not long before half-time, Luton had something to celebrate. A game of penalty box pinball eventually ending in a 14th league goal for Morris, who was all too happy to let Joel Lati-Baudière know about it. Morris doubling his previous best championship scoring season already, and it's his 11th opening goal of the campaign. Both of these two sides have struggled for form and goals recently. It was Luton who were pressing yet again though, as Jordan Clark's cute effort found the post. Swansea have been the division's entertainers, with more goals between both ends of the pitch than anyone else. But late on, whilst Liam Cullen was pushing for an equaliser, the pushing was suddenly coming on the touchline. A mass brawl eventually leading to Luton assistant Richie Kyle and Swansea boss Russell Martin both being sent off. On the pitch, the Hatters complete a league double, just 5 points in 8 for Swansea.
Watford hoping for a marvellous March after a frustrating February. Nothing quick or slick in the first half. They improved in the second. Sub Keenan Davis blocked, as was João Pedro by Freddie Woodman. Ryan Lowe's outfit, looking to go 5 unbeaten, had their moments, but were grateful for their keeper, determined to keep another clean sheet on his 27th birthday, denying Davis, who'd again been teed up by fellow Serb Yasser Asprilla. The Hornets' pre-match tweet that they'd never had successive league 0-0s with Preston had tempted fate. Pedro's late miss summed it up for Slaven Bilic's hosts, as there was once again no scoring glee against a resilient PNE.
Alex Neil was expecting and given a rough ride on his return to Sunderland, having left to join Stoke after just 6 months on Wearside. Instead, his successor at the Stadium of Light, Tony Mowbray, found all the wheels coming off his wagon. The home defence stayed intact for the opening 40 minutes until Josh Laurent rammed in his 3rd goal in 3 games. Home supporters already upset by the referee's earlier conduct over a head injury and a Mowbray caution. Sunderland frustrations at the lead official Jeremy Simpson were further inflamed when he waved away penalty claims after Jack Clark went down under a challenge from Ben Pearson. The list of Sunderland grievances was growing. And the home mood only darkened as the second half unfolded, with former Newcastle United striker Dwight Gale the focus of their anger. His challenge allowed Will Smallbone to gallop free and present Tyrese Campbell with the simplest of finishes. After 6 weeks without a goal, this was more like it for the Stoke number 10. Happiness is a cool first-time strike. And 4 minutes later, the power of a goal was there for all to see as Campbell teased and turned the home defence again and made the most of a second chance to curl in the goal of the game so far. That's 7 for the season, and it could be a turning point for his team's run-in. Mind you, it revved up Sunderland sufficiently for Mowbray and home supporters to have something to cheer at last. Alex Pritchard engineered himself space and time for a sharp finish to give rise of hopes of a famous comeback. Patrick Roberts doing well to enable Pritchard's first goal in 3 months, even though it felt like 3 years in the growing gloom. And that only deepened 6 minutes later. The ubiquitous Smallbone floated a corner which the Sunderland defence completely missed, and Gale was there to pounce. And then enraged the stands with gestures reminding them how 6 years ago the Black Cats were relegated and his former teammates in black and white promoted. As a former central defender, Mowbray will not enjoy this defending. And to cap it all, Gale stayed the headline act as he met another inviting Smallbone delivery to complete the rout. Only his third goal in 28 league appearances. Nothing in the build-up had suggested such Stoke superiority, but this is what Neil had been hoping for when he made the decision to swap the North East for the Potteries. Mowbray has to pick up the pieces again.
This week, Gareth Ainsworth used hacker team building to try and build strength and unity at QPR, but he acknowledged it's not going to be a quick fix. The injury-hit Hoops haven't won this year and faced a former player in determined mood. Jordan Hugel, who was brought in to fire Rotherham to safety but hadn't scored a championship goal since May of last year, teed up perfectly by the always lively Chio Ogbene. Albert Adoma was brought into the starting lineup from the side that lost 3-1 at home to Blackburn last week, and his cross teed up Stefan Johansson. Swedish stopper Victor Johansson winning this Scandinavian battle in spectacular fashion. Shock for the Norwegian, encouragement for the new boss, however. Ainsworth was left to rue his side's defensive naivety when the same two combined again for the Millers. Hugo hauled down by Rob Dickey after more good work from Ogbene. Rotherham's captain for the day took responsibility to emphatically end his goal drought. Hoops fans know all about his scoring prowess. He had his best return, 13 league goals, when on loan from West Ham 3 seasons ago. QPR desperately need players back from injury if their free fall is to stop, and the returning Sinclair Armstrong earned a penalty when Wes Harding challenged him. More eagle-eyed officiating from Darren Bond. Bournemouth loanee Jamal Lowe went high to set up a potentially nervy finish in South Yorkshire. Rotherham boss Matt Taylor described it as a hell of a battle, and his side struck the final blow to jump 3 places in the table and 8 points above the drop zone, overtaking QPR in the process. Hakeem Adoffin with the fine finish. The same scoreline in Gareth Ainsworth's first 2 games in charge. A new and novel approach, but the same old results.
After a miserable run of form and then seeing their training ground go up in flames on Friday, Birmingham had every reason to be feeling blue. But Juninho Bacuna's perfectly executed free kick after just 4 minutes against Wigan lightened the mood. Was their luck about to change? Maybe not. 15 minutes into the second half, Wigan were level. There's been a degree of resilience about them in Sean Maloney's short time in charge. Just 1 defeat in 5 since he took over, and Ashley Fletcher's leveller showed again that at least they're now harder to beat. Shortly after that, Birmingham had the chance to retake the lead. Bacuna was a constant threat. This time he went down under the challenge of Ryan Nyambi. Penalty given. The replay suggested it may have been soft. But Scott Hogan failed from the spot. Still 1-1. Birmingham continued to press and continued to curse their luck. Tahith Chong saw his shot come back off the post. But as Wigan failed to clear the danger, they would get a second bite at the cherry. Bacuna again tormented the Wigan defence. His cross found Maxime Collin. Another one off the post. And with Chong unable to make the most of the rebound, it finished 1-1. The point enough to take Wigan off the foot of the table.
After the 4-0 battering by Burnley last week, Neil Warnock was looking for terrier spirit in a comeback against Mark Robins' Coventry. Cut out the errors was his rallying cry in the week. Michael Hellick's action spoke louder than Warnock words on the half-hour, however. Victor Gyökeres doesn't pass up chances like that. That's 4 in 5 games after his New Year hiatus. Reassuringly for home fans, City didn't have it all their own way. The home side knew they needed a rapid response. Trouble was, Scott Hye's low drive was the Terriers' only highlight of the match because Coventry went to town in style in the second half. First, Fankati Darbo supplied Gustavo Hamer, and only Nicholas Bilakapic can explain how this shot beat him at his near post. Hamer has already doubled his goal tally from last season with 3 months still to go. More immediately and worryingly for those in blue and white, the writing was on the wall and the ball in the home net within 4 more minutes. Gyökeres enjoying his 17th league goal this season. Again, could the keeper have done better? The scorer didn't stop to discuss. That was enough for some home fans. The euphoria of Warnock's winning return 2 weeks ago fading fast. Penny for them, Neil. Because Mark Robins' side still weren't finished, aiming to supercharge a full-scale playoff push. 3 minutes into stoppage time and Gyökeres was causing trouble again, but not taking the final glory. Tyler Walker arriving right on cue. Coventry are now just 3 points off the top 6, but Huddersfield are rock bottom. The only way is up and fast.
A 100th competitive meeting between these fierce rivals. Bristol City's teenage starlet Alex Scott picked out by Mark Sykes. Look out for the away subs who couldn't believe Cedric Kipre denied Scott, or that Anis Mehmeti was bravely blocked by Ryan Allsop. A somewhat bittersweet experience for Allsop that would be a theme. Kipre and keeper showing a level of commitment that you need to win a derby, as long as you can also commit players forward. Connor Wickham and Zori Kaba started up front together for the first time to do just that. And from Ryan Wintle's pinpoint cross, Kaba struck for the division's lowest scorers. The jubilant on-loan striker had 3 red shirts around him, but nodded in his second goal since arriving in January. Concern for Nigel Pearson, whose side lost their first game of the year against Man City in midweek. Mehmeti was cup-tied for that game and looked fresh, but was again foiled by Allsop, who looked determined to keep a clean sheet no matter what. Another Cardiff loan signing and another attack down the right gave the Bluebirds a 2-goal cushion early in the second half. Jayden Philogene was encouraged to drift inside and his strike beat Max O'Leary. Sabri Lamouchi wants 5 wins from Cardiff's final 12 games to stay up. The Aston Villa winger gave them a great chance to start on that ambitious target. Strangely for a derby, no yellow cards in this game, but there was a red in additional time. Allsop penalised for handling outside his box, the 3rd dismissal of his EFL career. Now, although Jack Anick was on the bench, Cardiff had used all of their substitutions, so defender Perry NG stepped up. A reversal of the scoreline when these sides first met 108 years ago would give Cardiff a huge boost, and even top scorer Naki Wells couldn't stretch the makeshift stopper. Perhaps NG stands for no goals. A clean sheet on his goalkeeping debut. Smiles all round for Cardiff.
Last weekend's win over Middlesbrough felt significant for West Brom's playoff challenge, and they were well on top in the Friday night contest until they fell behind. Benjamin Tete handed a start by Hull boss Liam Brasilia, and this was an emotional moment for the striker whose close friend Christian Atsu was killed in the Turkey earthquake last month. The Ghanaian's first goal for Hull, an emphatic finish after Regan Slater's assist, and it burst the Baggies' bubble. Instead, they slid tamely to a 5th straight-away defeat. Osan Tufan's corner headed in for Hull's second. Sean McLaughlin led the celebrations, but it was West Brom's Dara O'Shea who made the crucial contact. After that, the last half hour was straightforward for the hosts, apart from John Swift's free kick against the post. The playoff contenders find themselves slipping towards their hosts in mid-table.
Plenty of goals around, 4 on the road for Coventry and 3 for Norwich. Stoke scored 5 on boss Alex Neil's return to Sunderland. Middlesbrough did the same at home to Reading. Leaders Burnley were held by Blackpool, but still extended their advantage at the summit as Sheffield United lost to Blackburn. A rampant Borough closed the gap behind the Blades to 4 points. Huddersfield lost to drop to the foot. Draws for the other teams in the relegation zone. Cardiff's maximum gives them some breathing space. QPR dropped to 20th. In League One, Cheltenham ended their goal-scoring drought at home in style as Alfie May's stunning volley was enough to earn his side a vital 1-0 win over informed Fleetwood. The top 3 of Sheffield Wednesday, Plymouth and Ipswich all enjoyed home victories, the latter convincingly so. Bolton, Derby and Barnsley were all held to draws. It's as you were in the division's upper echelons, with a seemingly unstoppable Sheffield Wednesday leading the way, with Plymouth and Ipswich in pursuit. No change to the playoff places either. At the basement, Forest Green went down to Accrington, who climb out of the bottom 4 at Morecambe's expense. Cheltenham's crucial triumph pulled them away from danger. In League Two, another stunning volley, this time from Jack Sowerby to help 10-man Northampton beat strugglers Crawley at Sixfields, improving the Cobblers' promotion credentials. Bottom beat second as Rochdale gave their survival hopes a boost at the expense of stuttering Stevenage. There were important wins for promotion-chasing Bradford, Salford and Mansfield as well. Leyton Orient could only draw with Swindon. Their lead is 11 points over Carlisle, whose reward for beating FA Cup quarter-finalist Grimsby was to climb above Stevenage into second. At the other end, Rochdale closed to within a point of Crawley, who've lost 5 in a row now. Hartlepool's draw at Tranmere edged them a point closer to safety. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with some memorable moments from another compelling and thrilling weekend of EFL action. From me, Jack Woodward, and the rest of the team, it's goodbye for now. We'll see you next time.